Hello, Wizards fans, and welcome into the Monumental Network studios. Jamoke Davis, Haley Myline here for what we call American Express Home Court Advantage, and it's Chinese New Year night, presented by Maryland Live. It's the year of the GOAT, and we don't mean greatest of all time. But, you know, you and I here in the studio, we've been the only two here in the studio for the show.
I think
so
we're
kind of the greatest of all time.
Are we the GOATs of Monumental?
Maybe, possibly.
Well, I
That's
think
nice
this
plus
guy
joy.
is our keeper GOAT. He is adorable, and so you're the GOAT. There we go. And tell us about the ball.
I do like the basketball.
I like it too.
Yeah. If you
It's
come up to
festive.
section
Gold.
422, we may give these two away.
Maybe. He might need to come home with me.
If you
He's
come and
so
watch the show
cute.
with us.
He's so cuddly.
Yeah, he is cuddly. Go to sleep on the
But
GOAT.
yeah, you might have to pry him from my hands, but we'll probably try and find someone who wants to take this guy home.
All right, okay.
Okay, and as usual, we have a Twitter question for you guys. Hop on Twitter, use hashtag AMEX Wizards, and give us some analysis. What do the Wizards need to do to get back on track to their winning ways? Hashtag WizWarriors. And as always, head over to the WashingtonWizards.com social hub, chat with other fans, get player stats, game info, and just have a great time following along as the Wizards look to get a win over the #1 seeded Golden State Warriors.
It's going to be tough tonight.
It's going to be an exciting game, isn't it?
Yeah, it will be, definitely.
Yeah. Now, Jamoke, it's no secret that the Wizards have kind of been struggling as of late. They have won 2 of their last 10 games. They took a loss here in D.C. to LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers, 38-point losing margin. And then they headed up to Detroit, lost 106-89. But there have been flashes of hope. There have been flashes of greatness on the court. You know, John Wall, they built a 11-point lead. Then things got out of hand as the Pistons went on a 38-point run. For the bulk of the game, they really controlled things, but the Wizards weren't giving up many mid-range jumpers. Jamoke, guess how many they gave up?
5.
Wrong. 2. Yeah,
2.
I know. 2.
That's a small number.
So 102 of their points were given up from either deep, the stripe, or the paint. But one bright spot, Ramon Sessions, things started out for him with and one, and then he had 5 assists in his first 7 minutes on the floor. But yeah, I mean, the Wizards do have some things to be excited about, some positives, but what did you see that really needs to be improved upon in their play as of late, and especially in Detroit?
Yeah, I think the Wizards need to get back to defense. They must clamp down on defense. Coach Whitman and the players all talk about how defense wins games, defense wins championships. Well, that's what they need to get back to. After the All-Star break, they're giving up 117 points per game, but you don't want to panic. That's what you don't want. Hey, Bradley Beal's out, yes, but he wasn't here at the beginning of the season. They went 7-2 with Garrett Temple in the lineup. So this team is capable of winning without him, of scoring points without him. That's what you want to see. A bright spot in that Detroit game. They had just as many field goals as the Pistons did, 37, but unfortunately the Pistons 37 field goals. If you have 13 of those as 3-pointers, that's going to be tough when you're trading 3s for 2s. But they didn't play that bad. They got beat on the offensive game, on the offensive glass, but they're shooting 40% in wins this season. The Wizards, yes, they're working in Ramon Sessions, which was a good thing. They shot 44% from the field, which is pretty good. That normally would mean a win. Marcin Gortat had his 15th double-double of the season. Wall recorded his 30th double-double. Garrett Temple scored 12 points on 4-7 from the field, and Chris Humphries contributed 11 points and 7 rebounds in 18 minutes. So the Wizards did some things well, but unfortunately, it was just a really good night for Detroit. And that was, of course, led by Caldwell Pope, who had 6 3-pointers by himself. Guess how many 3-pointers the Wizards had total?
Maybe the same number, around there?
Yes,
right?
6.
All right.
So that's not good. And they have to find a way to defend the 3 better, especially because I think that's one of the things that teams are starting to key in on them.
You mentioned Garrett Temple doing a great job filling in for Bradley Beal, and you also mentioned the Wizards' kind of lack of production from beyond the arc. Garrett Temple, 3 trays in that Detroit Pistons game. Maybe he can duplicate that production. Yeah, that's another bright spot. Yeah. March led things for the Wizards, scoring-wise, 24 points, 10 boards, and as you mentioned, John Wall got his 30th double-double of the season with 10 points, 11 dishes. So there's plenty to build upon, but definitely the long grind stretches beginning here February and March, and they want to start getting some wins, especially here at home, revert to their home court dominance and come out and show the Warriors this is our house.
You don't want to panic. Let's take a line from Aaron Rodgers. Relax.
Oh boy.
It's a marathon,
That's what I tell you before we go on.
I know, I didn't do it very well today. I'm sorry, everybody. I'll get better.
We're so excited, but Jamoke definitely needs to relax.
Yeah, but it's a marathon, not a sprint. Yeah, you did well at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
You want to do well at the end of the season, going into the playoffs. It's a new ball game then.
Yeah. The final home stretch is coming into sight for sure, but on a brighter note and a less serious note, Dan Nolan got to go on kind of a fun adventure. The Wizards got to, while they were on a road, kind of partake in the game on a smaller scale. NBA 2K16 was taking a ton of pictures of them and sizing them up for NBA 2K16. So let's see what Danny found out.
It's Hollywood, lights, cameras, action everywhere you go. And right now I'm surrounded by 88 cameras and lights for the NBA 2K16 shoot. And Wizards players and coaches, they're getting in here not just for headshots, but full body shots. Gather the emotions, different kinds of facial features. They smile, they frown, they even yell sometimes. And soon, they'll be in a video game.
As you can see, with all the cameras around here, they had got a profile pic of me, so I actually just had my shirt off. It was practically almost naked.
This is the first time we had to take our shirts off and stand up doing this 2K shoot. It's good. Like I said, I want a video game. You know, blessed to be here. It's 88 cameras, golly. That's why it's so lifelike.
When you know you're gonna be in one of the most popular games ever, you know, NBA 2K, definitely, you know, you have to do. That's pretty cool.
It's crazy how they can incorporate all this into video games, and it's weird because you make faces that you've never made before, and it's an exact replica of yourself in a video game. So it's always a cool experience to be a part of all this. It was a weird one. I had to make this face and go and like smile. It was weird. I can't even do it again if I wanted to.
They got down to a science. It's a lot further than how the basketball games were when I was playing Nintendo and Sega Genesis as a kid. So who knows what's next for next year?
As the case, like, well, you know what I mean? Camera everywhere, like, all eyes on me. So, you know, I like it.
How fun does that look? Seriously, seeing those guys just goofing around. Dan, you must have had an awesome time watching the Wizards get sized up for NBA 2K16. I know Jamoke is going to be spending a significant amount of time gaming when he gets his hands on that.
I actually wish I could have gotten in front of there and taken my shirt off and had
no, I'm happy.
They have like reporters on the sideline or people in the stands, something.
That's awesome.
Maybe we can have our new guests on the game too.
Yes. So Dr. Tia Jeffrey is in the house, our Black History Month honoree of tonight's game. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. We're thrilled to have you.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here and even be considered for something this amazing. So.
Of course, and we're honored to have you. Obviously, you're so accomplished. You're a registered dietitian and nutritionist and a certified health educator. You're a professor of nutrition and health education at Towson University. So should we call you doctor or professor? I think I want to call you professor. Is that okay for today?
Oh, no, it's a little formal, but...
Okay.
Oh, a little too formal.
Yeah, man.
Just Tia.
Tia's
Jeffrey.
fine.
All right, we'll call you Tia for today. All right, so your passion is health and wellness. Tell me how that came to be and how you got so involved in it.
Well, that probably goes way back to high school when I was a high school athlete and just being interested in nutrition in the sense of how well I was able to perform running track. And so ever since then, I was interested in, not until college as a career, but I was always interested on the impact of food and disease and fitness and so forth.
What race did you run? What event?
The 400.
Okay. So did I, but I wasn't very good. We can race after.
Okay, yeah, because I don't do any running. But what are some of the other things you do in the community to promote health and wellness?
I'm into faith-based wellness, so often with church initiatives, whether it's health fairs or screenings and so forth, I definitely like to get involved in that because I think it's really important to put the message out there to the community, and that's something that not only for them, but for them to share with other family members, other friends, and so that's really important. And I think that it can help break barriers and some of the things that's necessary to help eliminate health disparities that are in our community. So that's a passion, and not just in that area, but just throughout the community. It can be anything, not just church, school related. So that's something that I feel like is very necessary and important.
Yeah, yeah.
Now you focus on youth and adolescent education. What led you to target that age group?
Well, they're an age group or not exactly set in their ways yet in terms of habits, and so they're more impressionable,
Right.
and so it's at an impressionable age to where that is, I feel like that's where they'll maybe more likely to listen more, and they're likely to pattern after what they see. And so if they see role models in that area, they're more likely to develop a foundation for those habits.
And you're world traveled, so talk about your work in Tanzania and what that was like.
Oh, that was an amazing trip, and it was very emotional too, because I went with Global Vessels, and we helped to build an orphanage in Africa for the children there, and some of them were displaced also by parents who had the AIDS, HIV virus, and so being involved with that and helping them, place them in homes where they could eat well, and have a decent shelter, something I've never had before. That was very, very rewarding.
That's astounding. I mean, your resume is so impressive, so you're clearly very worthy of this honor tonight. We hope you enjoy it. Now, are you looking forward to the Wizards game and experiencing this environment?
Oh, definitely. This is extremely exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing the game live, and the Wizards have done so well in the past couple of years, so I'm looking forward to this game with the Golden State Warriors.
All right.
All right, well, thank you for joining us. And before we get to the game live, let's hear from Dave and Glenn with Home Court Preview to give us a little insight into this Golden State Warriors-Washington Wizards matchup.
We want to start with defense because I know when we talk about the Golden State Warriors so often, it's about Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, the explosive offense. But this is an elite defensive team. Why is an elite defensive team?
Well, first of all, you said keep it simple. They're the best team in the NBA right now. I mean, in almost every offensive and defensive statistical category, they just play so well together. I mean, the chemistry that this team has offensively and defensively. Defensively, they just do a great job playing the passing lanes. I mean, they put great pressure on the basketball. Everyone does. They lead the NBA in points off turnovers. You know what that means? That means defense is their weapon. Everyone talks about the Splash Brothers and how they can make threes. They all shoot threes, but it's their defense. They're terrific on the break. They lead the NBA in fast break points as well. So not only are they great three-point shooters, but they get to the paint as well.
All right, but again, what everyone loves to talk about is the Splash Brothers and the Golden State Warriors offense. What are you noticing from Steve Kerr's team?
Well, first of all, everyone shoots threes, except for maybe Bogut and David Lee. I mean, the whole team can shoot threes. So that really poses a problem because, they pull everyone away. And when they do that, they become a very good offensive rebounding team, too, for guys like Bogut and David Lee and everyone else. So they understand. Teams that take a lot of threes know where those balls are coming off the rim. So they're a very good offensive rebounding team as well. I mean, they're just an efficient basketball team. The only category that they don't lead in is second chance points. You know why? They don't miss many shots. That's the reason. They're a tough team.
Yeah, when that's the reason, that's a very tough team. All right, given all that, and you described the Warriors defense so active in the passing lanes, the Wizards' approach tonight against the Golden State Warriors.
You got to apply the same amount of pressure. You got to make sure you got to make Steph Curry uncomfortable. He's the head of the snake. I mean, you got to make him uncomfortable.
How do you make him uncomfortable?
Well, you got to put pressure on him. You got to double him with different looks almost every other time. And that means you don't just double him with the same guy down court. You got to understand that he's a very good passer. Make him an early passer, not a late passer in the 24-second clock. You got to locate shooters. That's one of the things you have to do with this team. Defense for the Wizards wins this game. I don't think they're going to have a problem scoring. I think it's going to be defensively. That's where they got to put pressure on the ball.
Dave and Glenn with Home Court Preview. Thank you guys. And the big news, Stephen Curry has been probable all day, but we found out he will be playing tonight, so you will see him facing John Wall on the court here at Verizon Center. And welcome if you're watching us here at Verizon Center, gearing up for this Golden State Warriors Washington Wizards matchup. Pull out your iPhone or your mobile device. If you bring your iPad around, which I'm not going to lie, I kind of do that sometimes, tweet at us using hashtag AMEX Wizards. Tell us what you think the Wizards need to do to get back to their winning ways. And welcome to our fans behind us here outside of Section 422.
It's Chinese New Year night, and we have some toys here. If you're outside of Section 422, maybe we'll give them away.
If you can pry this from my hands, we might give it away.
Maybe.
All right, so the Golden State Warriors are the top-seeded team in the Western Conference. Jamoke, they are 43-10, 10 losses, 10.
Yeah,
so the Wizards have a tough task tonight.
Oh yeah, tough task tonight, to say the least.
They have the #1 defensive efficiency rating in the league. The Wizards have quite a task there. And the Wizards have been struggling in their last 3 games to get their trays off. Shooting from deep, they have only made 24.1% of their threes. What can the Wizards do to improve their game from deep and improve their offensive game all around?
I think what the Wizards need to do is to get back to playing Wizards basketball. As I mentioned earlier, that defense sparks offense. But in this particular game, you don't want to get in the up and down game with Golden State because, as you mentioned, they're really dynamic on offense and they can do it on the defensive end. At the beginning of the game, John Wall needs to get his teammates involved, get them going early. He has almost twice as many double-doubles as Curry, and of course that's because of those assists. He wants to get them going. And also pound it in the paint. I'd like to see Marcin Gortat have another double-double. He can follow up that Detroit game. If that could jumpstart his game overall. And then protect the ball. Warriors are tops in the NBA in points off turnovers, but one weakness they do have is in second chance points, so the Wizards need to crash the board, maybe get an and one or easy shot when the defense breaks down. And then Paul Pierce, you'd like to see him get back at it. He's averaging 22 points per game against Golden State. If he can have a good game, maybe that'll make up for some of the losses as we've had, especially with Bradley Beal out.
Now, it's definitely going to be a fun backcourt battle to watch tonight. Klay Thompson and Steph Curry going up against John Wall and the Wizards. They have such an up-tempo style of play. They move the ball so well. It's beautiful. It's fluid. They spread the floor well. Defensively, what can the Wizards do to guard the guards? And obviously Klay Thompson, as I mentioned, and Steph Curry. Klay Thompson, one of the best two-way shooting guards in the league, if not the best.
Yeah, I think we know that they're called the Splash Brothers. Well, we want to take that splash down to a drip. Drip. Maybe a few points here and there, and I know I'm being unrealistic that that'll actually happen, but that's what we want. We want to limit them to one shot. The Wizards are number 3rd in the league in defensive rebound, and like to see them limit them one shot and then go right back down at the end to score. They're the second best offensive rating. They don't turn the ball over a lot, so you're going to have to find ways to manufacture points. And you talked about how they really aren't doing well shooting from the 3, but if they can get in those passing lanes of Golden State, get the ball from the offense, take it down on the Wizards' offensive end and score, I think that's what they're going to have to find ways to do that. Basically take Golden State out of their game.
All right, so you and I have talked enough about this game. Let's hear from the fans, all right? Earlier, our Twitter question. I'm sorry, I love hearing from you, but we do it all day long.
Okay.
Let's go to the tweets.
All right,
Why
here we
don't
go.
we? Hashtag Amex Wizards. You guys told us what the keys are for the Wizards to get back on the winning track tonight in hashtag Wiz Warriors. Started off, Sergio Garcia, 18. Sergio says, executing offensive plays and good 3-point defense. Hashtag Wiz Warriors. Hashtag Amex Wizards.
At the Rally Mullet, I will not have a haircut like that ever, but thank you, Rally Mullet. Defensive intensity in all 4 quarters. Hashtag Amex Wizards. Hashtag Wiz Warriors.
And shout out to at the Rally Mullet. He told me he is tuning in tonight, so thank you for watching. And then our girl Brenna at ChiefFan32 says, turning defense into offense, got to get back to what we know. That's right, Brenna. That's what we do here in Washington. That is Wizards basketball.
That is.
Brenna knows. Brenna knows. All right.
It's a simple game, as Nene said it in the training camp. It's a simple game.
Yeah.
Simple game.
Yeah.
Let's play the right way.
Well, what do you think?
Oh boy, I think that realistically, just as you mentioned, they just want to be able to play the right way. If they can do that, they win. I know we're kind of one of the older teams, so they may be working in some of the younger guys like Otto Porter, maybe inserting him into the starting lineup at some point to give Paul Pierce some rest. Kevin Seraphin maybe getting the start. I think that'll help as well. That'll do it for American Express Home Court Advantage. Jamoke Davis and Haley Milan. We will see you on Saturday for the next episode, starting right here in the Monumental Network studios at 6:30. Hey, don't forget, folks, a Wizards Magazine Friday at 3 p.m. p.m., also on Monumental Network. If you want to check out John Wall in the All-Star Game, that'll do it for the show. Hey, I think we should give these away, Haley.
I think so too.
Enjoy
Let's go
basketball.
do that.
Let's
Bye,
see if I
guys.
can make a shot. Oh.